Hello. What is your favorite Eevee evolution? Which Tera types would you use for it? There's definitely a lot of choices. Let's take a look at every evolution and see what they're capable of in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Vaporeon is the bulky water-type Pokemon of the past, making use of the Wish Protect combo along with a move like Scald to provide some utility for your team. Wish is an egg move which may not be easily obtainable in the new games. Vaporeon may end up going either a Fire Tera on Sun teams, a Rock type on Sand teams, while also being immune to the Water type weakness of both of these thanks to Water Absorb. Jolteon is your fast Electric type Pokemon that likes to Volt Switch for some initiative, keeping all sorts of Water and Flying types at bay. Jolteon's offensive pressure is mostly limited to Thunderbolt and Volt Switch as its same type attack bonus moves. It's naturally weak to ground and often forces ground types to switch in, which subsequently force Jolteons to switch out. Consider trying out the Flying, Water or even Ice Tera types on Jolteon to give it some much needed coverage for types which either resist or take no damage from electric types. Heavy Duty Boots, Choice Specs, and Life Orb all have their pros and cons but are great held items for our Jolteon. Flareon is a Pokemon which is arguably the worst of the original 3 evolutions because it's a pure fire type without many coverage moves. If you really want to try and make Flareon work, then I have 2 movesets to offer you. The first of these is a Curse moveset to boost your attack and defense while reducing your speed. Pick a ground resisting Tera such as Grass and the Flash Fire ability to be immune to fire type moves. The second moveset is the Guts ability with a normal Tera. We take Facade if it's available, otherwise we can take Body Slam or Terra Blast, along with Quick Attack for a same type attack bonus priority move. Because we are no longer a fire type, we can hold a Flame Orb to burn us to activate Guts, and we will take less damage than a Toxic Orb would do to us. Espeon is a fast Psychic type which can deal some serious damage. It gets the Magic Bounce ability and moves such as Trick, so you can hold a choice item and trick a choice Scarf or choice Specs onto an unsuspecting Pokemon and try to cripple them. It also learns Morning Sun and Calm Mind for a viable sweeping strategy. Ground Tera Espeon is able to answer back against a lot of Steel types, which would typically wall it. All of them except for basically Bronzong and Corviknight, who both have a ground type immunity either through Bronzong's Levitate or Corviknight being part flying type. Grass Tera Espeon resists ground types, which is good because of Espeon's low HP and defense stats. Ideally, you want at least 1 Calm Mind boost to get the ball rolling against some of the more defensive Pokemon like Toxapex. Don't give your opponents chances to switch out into checks or counters against your Espeon, as too many hard physical attacks will weaken or knock out your Espeon before you can even do some serious damage to their defensive Pokemon in the typical wall breaker fashion that Espeon sits in lower tiers of Smogon's competitive play. Umbreon is the defensive evolution. The best moveset that I could really come up with was a Curse moveset which uses Baton Pass to give these boosted stats to another Pokemon instead. Of course, you could also try to sweep with your Umbreon after getting a few boosts, giving it either Quick Attack or Terra Blast along with Crunch, and you have 2 attacking moves plus Curse and Moonlight. I don't think it's very good, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give you some ideas and massage your creativity. For Tera types, I would recommend either Fighting, Ice, or Water Terras if you're going to be using Terra Blast. Otherwise, you want to take Quick Attack. Leafeon is a Sun Team sweeper that learns Swords Dance and Synthesis. We can take Leaf Blade for a Grass type move and Terra Blast for coverage. If you can see that it says Double Edge on screen, just pretend that that's Terra Blast and we can put whatever type of Terra we want. This is just in Pokemon Showdown, and Terra Blast doesn't exist, so I'm just putting random moves in the 4th slot instead. The Fire Tera takes the most advantage of the Sun. Obviously, you're going to be a Fire type. Terra Blast will be a Fire type, and it will get boosted by the Sun. Leafeon will be twice as fast, thanks to the Chlorophyll ability while it is sunny. You end up being weak to ground and water types, but have a Grass type move to hit them first. The Grass and Fire type coverage combination is pretty good for breaking through most defensive Pokemon that I can think of that are confirmed for Scarlet and Violet. It only begins to struggle with Pokemon such as Goodra, particularly physically defensive Goodra, although a lot of them like to run Assault Vest. Glaceon is one of the worst ice types because its move pool is very small, its abilities are not very good, it doesn't even get access to Slush Rush now that that exists, and it's just too slow. Its defenses are pretty good, so we could swap to the Ground or Steel Tera and use Freeze Dry to hit water types and ice weaknesses such as ground and dragon types. I'll be honest, I'm probably only ever going to be running choice specs on Glaceon if it makes it onto my team over another ice type, as the terastallizing mechanic gives some of these dual type ice types a chance to be good, so I would rather just use one of those. And finally, we have Sylveon, fairy type evolution, and fun fact, it's also the slowest evolution at 60 base speed. The most obvious moveset idea is to go for the Fairy Tera type with the Pixelate ability, maybe a Life Orb or Choice Specs, and you can use Hyper Voice for a super juicy Super Stab, that's what people are calling the same type, Tera type boosted moves, Super Stab, it makes sense. Super Stab, fairy type move. It can hit really hard, sure. However, you can also go a Calm Mind moveset with the Ground Terror to gain coverage against the poison and steel type weaknesses that fairy types have. And those are just some ideas for each evolution that currently exists, as I assume we'll be able to obtain them all. Maybe there'll be some new ones and I'll be able to talk about those too. That would be cool. There's definitely a bunch of types that aren't occupied currently. I will do my best to cover each of these movesets, so in the comments sometime in the future, I'll comment some of the links to these videos. Maybe you're seeing them when the game's already out and maybe it's really fun and we're all having fun. Sub to the channel because I will be covering basically every Pokemon. I'll be establishing all the new breeding meta strategies and just getting everyone up to the competitive battling stage and having fun. Join us on Discord as we have a little community of friends and we're all super nice and we help each other out. We're going to be doing a lot of raiding, I expect. Honestly, if you are looking for some people to play the game with when it comes out, then yeah, the links are all below. Come and say hello to us. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment with any of your moveset ideas or what your favorite Eevee is, and I will see you in the next one.